And now that you have worked with Avant Group, what was that like? Like, how has that working relationship been with us? How has it been beneficial to your org? I'll drop it in the chat. But again, now that you've worked with Avant Group, how has working with us been beneficial to you and your organization? And I would love to start with you, Crista, if possible.
Yeah. So you've talked a lot about the educational opportunities and different things that you can present and give to people. I think for me, describing our engagement with you is that not only are you good presenters and you know all the information and you deliver it really, really well, but you listen. And you've probably actually gotten tired of us talking sometimes as we try to figure this out. This work is really complex. It's really hard. It's really messy, but it's transformational. And we've, I think, regrouped so many times throughout our engagement with you because we've been learning. And as you learn, you're like, okay, I didn't know that. Now let's shift this so that we can make this work for our organization. So we have really, truly appreciated the partnership we have and your ability to listen and be flexible with us. We've had some real success. We're really proud of that we engaged with your help and consultancy with a lot of coaching and education as well. We engaged staff throughout the whole organization and developed a community agreements document that we use to really articulate our vision for how we want to live, how we want to treat and interact with everybody, with each other at BHSB. And we're now in the process of working to operationalize that within the organization, within like a restorative practices framework. So our work with Avant has been fantastic and so beneficial to us. And we so appreciate your flexibility and your ability to listen and guide and support us and coach us through to where we need to go.
Yeah. Thank you, Crista. I promise you, oftentimes we're learning right alongside you and your team. So I think some folks engage with us and are like, oh, they have all the answers. I think we have a lot of answers. And some of it is us learning in the moment with you also. It has been, know that beneficial piece is two-way. We are benefiting from that too. Dante, can I go to you next?
Sure. Yeah. For us, as I, mentioned a little bit before, I can't underscore this enough is that, for us, having that baseline, setting that baseline has been incredibly beneficial for our organization. And so, using that to take these next steps and, like I said, yeah, offer that next level of workshops and understanding is really, really helpful. But the other thing with us is, we've started to explore the idea of what would it look like for us to become an anti-racist organization, as Crista is doing. We talked more, I've said before, one of my goals is to be able to completely dissolve our DEI committee, right? Because right now I kind of think of these committees as being, they're external, it's something other. We're really doing our job if we're fully incorporating that into what we do. And what does that look like? So we've been having conversations with the team over the last year or so about that. And it is a long, messy, and difficult journey. You're thinking about how do you do this? How do you communicate this to your team? How do you communicate this to partners and stakeholders? How do you have these conversations with your board? And making sure that everyone is aligned. So it's been really beneficial in helping us advance these conversations, but also making sure that we're, again, like doing it with a shared understanding of like what we're talking about, what we're discussing. We're using words that everyone understands and is aligned with.
Thank you, Dante. And then I'm going to you, Heidi. And then, folks, I'm actually going to shorten this because I want more time for interaction with everybody. So I have one more question afterward. But Heidi, please take this one away. And then I got one final one I'm going to type into the chat.
Sure. Well, although our listening session, the actual project hasn't occurred yet, we have conducted a mini listening session with a group of community influencers and leaders. And I have to say, like in that session, just watching Avant facilitate an in-depth, really robust, deep conversation about dementia and dementia awareness really impacted not only myself, but we had an intern from the association and another staff person observing. We talk about that session frequently and think about all of those stories as we are moving this forward. But Dr. Avant did a great job with facilitating, and I think that lended itself to a really honest conversation. And I just can't imagine being able to A, pull those people together on our own, and then B, hear the really honest conversation that Dr. Avant was able to elicit without her. So I just really appreciate working with Dr. Avant and her team. I feel like it's well worth it. And I feel like our listening session that we're planning in January is just going to be excellent. So very excited about that.
Yeah, I am confident in that session too. I love listening sessions for getting to hear voice. And so again, you all are providing the opportunity for us to be in a listening session with you and your great advice.